You remember the Ice Age? It's been warming ever since, and there ain't nothing we can do to stop it. Senator Burns said in his documentary on global warming. He's stating that the Earth got hotter after the Ice Age, and that for the past how many years the Earth has been around, it has been doing the same thing, which is gradually getting hotter, what we call global warming, and then we'll get cooler after 100 years or so and have another ice age. This would happen and repeat for the rest of eternity. This is a very reasonable explanation, but sadly he's wrong. Ever since 1908, when cars were created, the methane and carbon dioxide levels have been increasing quickly, to the point where in the next 50 years, the temperature, methane, and CO2 levels will be doubled than what they are now. The Earth has never had to deal with such high temperature and so much pollution, so instead of it getting close to another ice age anytime soon, we're heading in the opposite direction, and the Earth isn't going to be able to level itself out like it used to, ever again. On the phone, I have Mr. Brian Toon, Professor and Chair of the Physics Department at Colorado University. Thank you for taking the time to speak with us today.
It's my pleasure, Mia.
So what is your point of view on global warming?
There's no doubt that humans are increasing greenhouse gases in the atmosphere. It is inescapable that they will cause the temperature to rise.
And what made you decide that?
Well, 40 years of my own research on this problem. The carbon dioxide greenhouse problem has been understood since the late 1800s. The predictions of climate changes have not changed in about 130 years, and no serious errors have been discovered.
Who will feel the first effects of global warming?
I think this will clearly be a major problem for low-lying cities, probably by the end of the century. It is already leading to species moving their habitats, although habitat loss due to rising human population is the main factor causing extinctions.
And do you do anything to prevent more global warming?
My department has hired wind energy people to try to develop new energy generation measures. My group works on geoengineering studies.
So does it make an impact on your life?
Well, yes, it is likely a factor in the pine beetles, which have killed a lot of trees in my neighborhood.
Oh, do you believe in Al Gore? Do you think he knows what he's talking about?
He is a well-informed layman. Clearly, he helped bring the issue to public awareness. His job was to take science advice and apply it to public policy, which he did well. You might ask, why is he being attacked? Perhaps those who oppose global warming find it better to attack people than the science.
And lastly, do you think the carbon dioxide and temperature levels affect each other on this matter?
Carbon dioxide certainly impacts temperature, and temperature can have effects on carbon dioxide. For example, in ice cores, we can see the carbon dioxide responding to the expansion and retraction of ice sheets in the last ice age.
Thank you so much for your time, Mr. Toon. We really appreciate it.
Oh, you're welcome.
Good morning. It's November 11th, 2050. I'm Renee Romer, broadcasting live from Rosslyn Valley High School. Today's topic is over the biggest controversy in history, and that's global warming. So please welcome our guest, Brennan and Laura, who will explain what it is. Good morning. Welcome to Rosslyn Valley.
Good morning to you too, and thank you. I'm happy to be here.
So, would you please explain global warming, what global warming is, just in case some of our viewers don't exactly understand?
Sure, global warming is an increase in the Earth's average atmospheric temperature that causes corresponding changes in the climate, and that may result from the greenhouse gas effect. Also, over time, causes the coral reefs to die from the change in water temperature.
So what do you think the root of global warming is?
The root of global warming is the emission of carbon dioxide due to the burning of fossil fuels. When the ice melts in the poles, the bubbles of air that contain methane will melt and escape into the air, also causing a part of the global warming. All of the evidence in this topic really supports that global warming is happening and is getting worse every year because the humans increasing the greenhouse gas effect. About half the solar energy from the sun evaporates water, adding the most important greenhouse gas into the atmosphere. Only a small amount of heat energy emitted from the surface passes through the atmosphere directly to the space. Most of the heat energy is absorbed by greenhouse gas molecules and lower the atmospheric temperature, increasing the concentrations of greenhouse gases. Only a small amount of heat energy emitted from the surface passes through the atmosphere directly to the space. Most of the heat energy is absorbed by greenhouse gas molecules and lower atmosphere. increasing the concentrations of greenhouse gases, increasing the warming of the surface, and slowing loss of energy into space. So you can see that a lot of heat that comes into the atmosphere gets trapped inside, causing the Earth to heat up.
Thank you so much, Brennan. Now we take it outside to check on Mia Richgers, who's currently outside Rosslyn Valley. Mia, how's the weather out there?
Hello, Renee. Good morning. Today it is pretty warm again. It was already pushing 80 degrees Fahrenheit this morning. It's getting pretty old here, way too hot. The weather hasn't been below 40 degrees in the last 35 years. Global warming has recently been taken to a whole new level. Penguins and polar animals are basically extinct. It's very sad. I only wish that 35 years ago, when we first heard about the whole concept of global warming, we took action immediately. The main sources to this mess are the power plants that burn coal to produce electricity and in the process create large amounts of carbon dioxide. This carbon dioxide seals the earth and does not allow the heat of the sun to escape out of the atmosphere, making the average temperature sprout up dramatically throughout time, which has already happened and will continue to happen until something changes. As you can see, along the skyline, you can just see all the pollution right above the city. That is even there early in the morning till late at night, and it's just going to get worse as time goes on. Back to you, Renee.
Well, as you can see, the temperature is still rising pretty rapidly out there. Thank you, Mia. We appreciate that great explanation.